Hey, thanks for making it over to Talk Troopers episode 12. Let's get the thumbnail out of the way right away if you did see that. If you did not see that, listen up real quickly. This episode is not censored for any kind of language, and it is a vulgar episode. So if anyone's listening that should not be listening, don't listen. Otherwise, head over to TalkTroopers.com, leave us a message of anything you'd like to talk about, or hey, even if you're upset at our language, because we won't put a vulgar message on them. But otherwise, enjoy.
So did you hear about the guy who's sitting talking to a microphone who can't speak correctly?
Yeah, him.
Yeah. So from the ending of the last episode where you mentioned Jane from Evil Dead, even though we weren't talking about Evil Dead, we're talking about Don't Breathe.
Yes.
Did you hear they're doing a, I don't know if it's true or not, but Bruce Campbell's made comments towards it on Twitter that there's going to be a new Evil Dead. It's going to be in the city more, and it's going to be some chick. And I was actually against the idea, not because of the chick thing. Everyone back the F off. It was the city thing that bothered me. So I just recently rewatched. While I do my homework, I put on like stuff I've seen before.
Yeah.
And I just watched all 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead again for my third time. And a lot of that takes place in the city. And I'm like, you know what? It could work. It could work even better if the girl who is playing the Ash role is the...
Mia?
Is that her name, Mia?
In the movie, it's Mia, yeah.
Oh, no. If it's the girl from the TV show. Or the series, not TV show.
Oh,
the
okay.
series. She was awesome. I loved her in it. And
Everybody wants the Mia story to continue. Why can't we do that? Everybody wants her to eventually meet up with Ash. Why is this such an issue?
I would be okay with that. I just don't think it's going to happen, so I'm just not holding my breath for it.
I don't understand why I can't.
Mike, so from my understand is even though he says groovy at the end of the credits, he's actually, the Ash Williams is not in that universe from what I understand.
Even if that pipe dream never comes true, why can't we just see another one with Mia?
I'd be okay with it. I actually would be more than okay with it. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as reboots go, it had I really liked Cabin in the Woods. As much as it pains me to say that, I really liked it. And that Evil Dead had a very good Cabin in the Woods feel. I like that kind of directing and camera cinematography. I would love to have another one of those. In fact,
I don't know why that's such an issue.
I don't know. How did it do? Did it not do well?
It did really well.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe
it didn't cost anything.
That's true, yeah. Probably cost more in red syrup than anything.
I don't understand why we couldn't, because that's what the fans want, so we can't do that anymore. Can't listen to them.
See, you just nailed it.
We gotta tell them what they want, not listen to what they're asking for.
Exactly. I got water down here. I was gonna chew. I've been dying to chew gum, but I know that it picks it up on it, and I know how much you love that.
You want the Emperor back? No, who the hell ever said this? Nobody said this.
Oh, I wrote him a letter.
You're the one.
Yeah, I said not only do I want the Emperor back, I want Snoke's character, which I was already on the line of hating. I wanted him to I want you to find a way to make him even worse. Oh, he's a clone of something. Oh, Tarkin, you say? Oh, okay.
Well, is that what he was supposed to be?
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. That's not even a spoiler to anyone who doesn't know, because I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard.
I don't really care if you spoil that piece of garbage. There's really nothing to spoil in it. Nothing that happens in that movie is any consequence to anything.
It had some good parts. I mean...
Are you referring to Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Yeah, the end credits were beautiful, man.
Yeah, you got it. I didn't even have to lead you to it. Jesus. I actually did not mind the Yoda Luke scene.
That was in Jedi.
Was not, was it?
That was in Last Jedi.
It was. Yeah, you're right. You just took away the one thing I liked in that movie.
Well, I had to take it away because it's not in that movie.
Was Luke even in the movie?
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, as a ghost or anything?
I think he appeared at the beginning when they were like showing that training with him and Leia.
Yeah, but that was a flashback. And that was
Yeah.
young Luke, which actually that scene wasn't bad. The flashback part of it, I didn't actually care for all the crap leading to it, but that wasn't bad. That scene wasn't bad.
Other than that, I don't think he was in it.
I just disliked that
Was
movie
he?
a whole hell of a lot more. Oh
Well,
my God, I might have to watch it again now.
Stop. No, you don't. Nobody. That's not worth it.
I have such a problem with the sword. How do you have a sword that tells you exactly where the holocron is? It's not a holocron. Yeah, it is. It's a fucking holocron. How do you have a sword that tells you where the holocron is on a ship that crash landed on a planet?
Oh, I had smuggled a flask bottle of Gentleman Jack in, and by that time I was half in.
You weren't so gentlemanly.
No, I was getting ornery.
I mean, things I didn't have a problem with that I can get past. Han Solo showing up. I get it. It's in his head. I didn't have a problem with it. The guy, inner turmoil. Adam Driver's acting is actually, in my opinion, fantastic in that movie. The problem was not his acting. The problem is what he was given to act with. Because he sells it for me. He is a whiny, wasn't told no guy.
The Han Solo thing was fine. I guess it's more that I know it wasn't a Force vision, so because he's not a Jedi, I knew it was an hallucination, right? But that's the moment where he just 2 minutes ago he wanted to cut Rey's head off and use it as a basketball. So Han Solo comes out and says, "That's not really the way you should do things," and he's good again.
So you don't think it was a Force vision, huh?
No, I think it was Kylo Ren hallucinating.
I think it was too. I actually question if it was a mixture, and the reason why is he wasn't
Because
a Jedi.
he was near death, and then she healed him with her savior power. So I think that had to do with his hallucination.
I do too. I think that had something to do with it. I don't even have a problem with the Force healing thing.
You know, if it would have been introduced in some way before that,
She healed a
maybe.
worm, a giant worm.
Not 5 minutes before that scene, like in a different movie.
I know. You've said this before, and I agree with you on it. We shouldn't have to read all the novelizations to understand what a movie's trying to say.
No, they should help build the world, not inform everything.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I told you. It's funny because I was not a big Solo fan, and it's because I listen to TV, which I don't watch anymore, so that's good. You actually turned me back around on Solo because the more I got thinking about it, the more I'm like, you know what? You're right. That scene wasn't bad. That wasn't a scene bad. But there was one part that stuck with me that I absolutely couldn't stand, and it was the part where she takes her helmet off and they pause for 30 minutes of dead silence.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, did I miss something? And like, I
Oh,
remember Ross saying,
you didn't read the compendium comic book and novelization and play the game?
then that's exactly it. I'm like, I don't know who the hell she is. And I'm like, so then automatically, because of all the social justice warrior crap, it started wrecking the movie for me because I don't want politics shoved into my movie. I get it. Movies do have politics in it. They do. That's politics. Anything that has a story arc has politics in it of some sort. That's just the way it is. But when you shove it in, it pisses me off. So I thought they were doing oh, look, she's a woman. Where when she first took off her helmet, I'm just like, oh, I don't know who that is. I didn't give two craps if she's a woman or not. So, and that's what wrecked. It took me so far out of the movie, I was just like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
The robot was worse than that. The Liberator feminist robot was 10 times worse than that.
So, I watched it again after we talked about this. And the helmet taking off part still took me out of it. But it wasn't as bad because at least I knew I didn't know who she was, and it wasn't part of the story of knowing who she really was, other than what that is explained in the movie. So even though I felt that it was bad directing, I got past it. The robot, I hated when I watched it in the theater. It's so much better the second time. The robot, because I went in watching it after we talked, going, I'm going to give this movie a chance. Because you know what? You brought up a lot of good points of things I actually, after you said it, I'm like, you know what? That was actually pretty good. So when I watched it, giving it a chance, I was kind of like, and it wasn't that I didn't give it a chance first time, but when I went in purposely giving it a chance, knowing what I already knew, the robot's actually funny. And it
Well,
wasn't the
honestly,
first time.
it was just, there were some funny bits. It was just kind of like, I don't know.
I think the first time you're more, at least I was more apprehensive for it to come because I knew it was coming and it bothered me. The second time the shock was gone already. So I was like, it didn't bother me nearly as much. The second time around, I was like, oh yeah, I actually like that robot now. In fact, I mean, like when I say it was funny, it was a lot funnier because I think the first time I watched it, I was still, when she was saying funny things, I was still a little irritated by the fact that they just forced something in my face right before that.
Yeah.
And that's my fault. That one I will openly admit. That's my fault. I should have just relaxed and watched it. It's just that there's no doubt they were trying to shove shit in my face, and that was irritating. I don't like that. I've grown to have very little tolerance in messages being put in movies that are intended to stir emotions in that kind of way.
Yeah, that's... For me, Solo was entertaining, which is more I could say for Last Jedi, which was like 6 months before that. So I'm like, hey, Solo at least entertained me. So this is a step up. And then came The Rock.
Yeah, but you didn't like Rogue One either.
No, I didn't.
See, and I really, really liked Rogue One. Was it perfect? Well, is any movie really perfect? But I mean, was it perfect? Absolutely. Are there, like, it's a fast forward show for me. Or it's one of those, I'm doing something and it's on. There's parts where I'll stop and watch it. There's other parts I'll just like, yeah, all right, I'm going to go take a crap.
Rogue One is so damn boring. I mean, it's just, oh my God. It answers a question that nobody asked.
Yeah. I never read out of all the books I've read, I think I've read all the books except for the Rogue One books.
And then you go like, okay, so her dad is the constructor of the Death Star because Disney Star Wars, you gotta have a Death Star somewhere. Even if it's just a hunk that shouldn't exist, you have to have a Death Star somewhere or we're not comfortable. And he makes the blueprints. Oh. And then he sends a message to her telling her where the blueprints are. Hey, you could have just sent the blueprints instead of this fucking message, and then your daughter would still be alive.
So now, in all fairness, that movie did kind of have to have a Death Star, though. I get your point, but that movie did have to have a Death Star.
That one did. I'm just saying because they have to make movies that have to have Death Stars in them. But none of that movie had to take place because if he'd have just sent the plans with that message that he smuggled out. There we go. And then at the end, they put that Vader scene in. Oh man, it was badass. It was well done. But you spend the entire movie rooting for the rebels and then cheer when they all get cut down. I mean, it's just totally incorrect.
That Vader scene was good. I'm sorry.
It was, but it was in a different movie.
But it was nice leading into... I actually, other than Leia looking like crap, I really liked that connection. Tarkin did too, yeah. Yeah, Tarkin was bad. But other than the deep fake issues, I liked it. I really did like how it's stitched together.
It's a great scene. It's well lit. It's well shot. It just belongs in a different movie.
Oh, I see what you're kind of... Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because you spend an entire movie with the rebels and rooting for them and watching them trying to get this stuff to Leia, and then, yes, Vader's a badass. Look at him just cut that guy in half. Woo! And it's like, okay, that doesn't jive with the rest of this thing.
Well, even the mood it sets, even in the darkest times of... I think the planet where the dad dies is probably one of the darkest scenes, but it's still a well-lit scene. And the lighting, in my opinion, was very well done in Rogue One. Like, when it's pouring and dark, it's desolate. You get that whole feel for it. They did a good job with that. But when they do get to the Darth Vader scene, which once again, I love, and I'm glad they put it in there, I will agree with you that it doesn't necessarily fit in the sense of it looks like someone completely else directed it because it's flat black, and I get it. It's Vader. He's coming out of it's supposed to be ominous.
Because it was filmed later because they needed some action in that movie. That's what they said. That was filmed later on. That was like added at the last minute.
Oh, really? I mean, it makes sense
that, yeah.
because it does not, cinematography-wise, does not fit the rest of the movie. But I'm still glad it was there. I really... So it's kind of like, have you seen the remake of New Hope's... I hate calling it New Hope, but I guess you have to. Have you seen the remake of the Vader Obi-Wan fight scene of New Hope? Somebody, an amateur, from what I understand. I mean, not like amateur like me.
Yeah, I saw that
That
clip that they did, yeah.
extra, I don't know if it's 45 seconds or what, a minute or whatever. I actually wouldn't be upset if they took that, paid the dude who made it, and put it in the movie. I thought that was done so well. That little extra, and I think that's what I felt about the Rogue One is he's so slow. But when you watch it in Rogue One, you understand why he's so slow. He doesn't need to be anything else. He commands that hallway.
That's like Vader at the height of his power.
Yeah, yeah. Which then gets you thinking, what would he have been if he still had all his limbs and stuff, and he wasn't always in pain?
I think that would have dulled him. The pain drove him.
You think so?
Yeah. Vader's driven by his hatred of himself and others, and the pain of all that shit drives him. If he'd had all his limbs and everything, he would have softened, I think, over time. Anakin would have come back.
Because he was, oh, that's a good point about the Anakin thing. Because they always said that Emperor made sure that he was in pain. That was to keep him in control or something like that.
Yes, because he knew if Anakin somehow wrestled control back, he would destroy him.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. That's a good way of looking at it, yeah.
And I think part of that Vader knew that and didn't want Anakin to come back. That's why he kept himself angry and upset and hatred and all that pain.
Well, he'd be hosed if Anakin came back. Well, he was hosed when Anakin came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it did not end well for him. God. Now I'm thinking about the clone thing. What were they thinking? Seriously.
They weren't. They slapped some shit on screen.
They literally did. I mean, I get you didn't like, what the heck was the first one called?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I get you didn't like. I get whoever didn't like it. I understand they didn't like it. There was things I did like about it, not for movie's sake, more for baton holding off sake. I get it. Second one, definitely get it. Even though there was a couple moments I liked, but not justifiable by any means. Not enough to stitch together a TV series, one episode pilot. And then the third one, this is garbage. I'm trying to think of a because I can usually look at any movie and give you a redeeming moment.
We walked out of Last Jedi going, well, at least we know it can't get worse, to walking out of Rise of Skywalker going, wow, they actually made it worse.
So it's funny because I didn't hate Rise of Skywalker so much, or not Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens so much. When I went into the second one, I was so disappointed that when I walked out, I went, oh my God, how bad's the next one to be? Because this is going down fast. So I was the opposite, actually. I was like, this next one's going to be a dumpster fire.
And it sure is. And it still blew you away. You're like,
it did.
Gonna be bad.
It did. It was the opposite of the Waterworld effect. It was horrible. And sadly, I wasn't upset. I went to go see it in the theaters.
I had to see how it ended and complete that.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my God, why have you done this?
Yeah, because for me, I mean, I seen them all in the theaters, but for me, it was New Hope and Empire I had to watch on the re-release. Return of the Jedi, I was old enough, I saw that. Did I see Empire? I don't remember anymore. But I know I saw Return of the Jedi. I saw it twice, actually, when I was a little kid. And saw that by myself. I remember this day, my mom sending me out. She dropped me off, came back a little while, got me. She must have did her shopping or whatever. And I do remember that. And then they re-released it, so of course I got to see the New Hope and Empire. So there was no way I wasn't not going to watch it in the theater. But I will admit, I was tempted not to.
I know, I was too. I debated, but like, I have to say goodbye. And if that's the way to have to say goodbye, then good riddance to it.
God. What a cesspool of crap.
You're halfway through, you're like, how did this make it past the planning stages? Who said this is what we should do?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Idiot.
I know that
And
was
who-
a rhetorical question, but I actually had an answer.
and whatever yes man kissed her ass and said that is the best one I've ever seen, you should be fired too because it's garbage. You should be shamed. J.J. Abrams, I don't know how to feel about that because he was basically brought on at the last second and said, here, out of this pile of feces, make something that's watchable. Well, you didn't.
It kind of makes you wonder, though. I mean,
But I mean, he never intended to come back and film that. I don't think it was just last minute. Hey, you're not doing nothing.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I still blame him, but he's not
Some blame, of
sole
course, has to go on him.
Yeah, he's not solely at fault, though. I was always against the idea of splitting the directors up on those movies to begin with. I thought that was a horrible idea because whenever you do crap like that, you don't have an even flow of stuff. It's like the Animatrix cartoon or the Batman cartoon that went
Gotham
between the
Knight
movies.
thing, yeah, that just all kinds of different visions.
Yeah, you always get like one good one, and then the other four suck. Speaking of suck, though, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, how good do you think she is at it? I mean, because to
She's
get
been
to
in the
where
business forever.
yeah, but she got there. I mean,
I
let's
know.
face it, she was screwing Spielberg, but
But
to
you
get
should
where
have learned
she's
something. You should have learned something.
yeah, like tuck the tongue around the nut top or something. Because I'm telling you, to get where she's at and to still hold your job and to be able to say whatever the hell you want and nobody goes, you're fired. I'm telling you, you're taking the chrome off somehow.
She's got the right picture of the wrong ass in the wrong spot.
Oh my
'Cause,
God.
I mean, any other executive after those three turds would have been flushed. I mean, it's just-
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, unless you have the name. I mean,
Star Wars is all about merchandising, and you couldn't even merchandise that last one.
that's exactly what it is. It's kind of like an 80s cartoon. I mean, they were great movies. Of course, 80s cartoons were great, but they were designed to sell toys.
Yep.
And
And that's
anyone
what
who
Star Wars is.
and anyone who wants to say, "Oh, no, merchandising had nothing to do with it. That was just a bonus side effect." Then why did Lucas require Mel Brooks not to sell any merchandising to Spaceballs as condition to be able to use those characters?
Hmm.
That was an awfully weird thing to have a stipulation on.
Yeah. No, they are a part of it. They're intertwined with it. If you don't like it, well, fine. That's up to you. But it's part of it. And they couldn't even merchandise the last one. That's how badly it failed and how fast it went down.
They were using toys from the second one for the third one. And they
Because
couldn't get
They
rid of
changed
stuff.
everything. Yeah, because you can still find Force Awakens crap. It's 5 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even Jar Jar sold out within a year.
Jar Jar has a weird following now, though. Like, Jar Jar was his character was actually much better than anyone realizes.
I'm looking forward to the Black Series one coming out. I'm excited.
I was looking at it again the other day. It's pretty good looking. It's, you know, so those are one of those ones where I think a limited supply is fine. I'm not saying so limited that you don't ever see one, but I'm saying a limited
Which is where
supply.
I'm at now because Target never stocks that shit anymore. Not around here.
I don't blame them. I'd be scared
The
of it
Black
too.
Series is the one thing that sells.
No offense to the dude, but there's so many Landos. It's
Well, yeah, character by character they don't sell. Like the Luke and the Yavin and that chick from Rise of Skywalker. But the old classic stuff, yeah. If you don't flood the market, there's a balance there.
I think
There's a balance between Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. There's a balance.
so. When I say don't have a lot, like keep it limited, I still mean have a lot. Just don't go Lando on it or AJ Styles on it, but don't go Mandalorian on it either. Like, you got to find that happy middle. You got to fill the shelf, but don't have any left over. And I know that's harder to do than say, because obviously they're not doing it now. But like we talked about this last time, flood the freaking shelves with Stormtroopers and Mandalorians. It's and I'm not saying every Mandalorian. I'm saying Mando or whatever his name is, but they call it Mando, and Boba Fett. They're gonna sell. And Stormtroopers are gonna sell like crazy. And then just kick it back a little bit on the Lukes and Leia's and stuff like that.
The troop builder stuff will always sell.
Yeah, because you need more than one.
And Mandalorian, he's the damn star of the show, so there should probably be one or two of those laying around.
Plus, he's cool looking. Who doesn't want to be him? It's like a Western. Everybody wanted to be the
Yeah,
cowboy.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't need Dark Ray. You know those are going to peg warm.
I think Dark Ray will do worse than Jar Jar. I think you need to.
Without question, without question.
I mean, having it, I don't have a problem with them making it. I really don't. But that's going to be to a select collector.
Somebody who can't live without that 3-second shot of her with that cloak on.
Well, and you have to have the people who are just complete collectors too.
Yep. But those people order cases and they go home. They order cases from Entertainment Earth or directly from Hasbro. They don't even go to the store.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, if Target wanted to get 20 over the whole time of Dark Rays, I could understand that. But any more than that, I mean, I'd be curious to know how many Landos they got in. And I know I rip on Lando a lot, but let's face it, they're peg warming. I mean,
Well, they finally clearanced them at the Target around here.
I should scan one because when it is clearance, I have the I got the Celebration. Where's my finger? I got the Celebration Luke, the one that Rocco had. He's like, it's like $5 or whatever, and I got to Target and it was $20, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go scan it, and sure enough, it was $5. I'm like, yep, all right, that's $5. That's happening. I mean, I like Luke. I have no problem with Luke. It's the worst dressed character of them all. I mean, who gives a crap about his metal character? But still, $5 is Luke. I got a bunch of Lukes on that wall actually, but that and I don't mind the repros. I think it's pretty cool they came out with Tarkin finally.
I like the Tarkin figure. It was cool.
Yeah, it's
But every wave's got it, like those anniversary ones in the old packaging for like Empire and A New Hope.
yeah, with
For some reason,
big retro thing in it.
for some reason, we always got to have an X-wing fighter Luke in every wave.
Yeah.
None of the other X-wing pilots get it.
Now, in all fairness, that's the one that is. I have it. You can't actually see it, but it's the one that came with the game.
Yeah.
The one that you can buy the game for $15 on Amazon, but they're selling just the character that comes with the game. So that means someone bought the game, took the character out, and they're putting it on eBay that they're trying to get $40 for. So anybody listening, if you need to have the Snowspeeder Hoth Luke, not the X-Wing one, go buy the whole damn game off Amazon or wherever you can get it. So in all fairness, that one is in all fairness, that one is not X-Wing. That one is actually a Snowspeeder one. Which
isn't it the same damn costume?
Yeah, it's just a little thicker. But what I find funny is why is it called a Snowspeeder? They say right.
Well, it speeds over snow, right?
Yeah, but they. I mean, there's no reason to call it a Snowspeeder considering they actually make a comment about keeping them warm so they'll function in the movie.
Yeah.
Like that equipment they had there was not designed to work in that coldness. They're not snow speeders. They're just speeders. They just happen to be in a snow environment. I've always questioned that. They call it a snow speeder because it's a toy, but it's not really a snow speeder. That's what everyone knows it as.
I want you to just look at that problem and then look at what we can find in the Disney movies and know what a real story problem is.
I still like in The Mandalorian when I sent you that clip about the carbon scoring.
Carbon scoring. Yep, I'm an idiot.
I'll never let you let that down because it's the only time I actually remembered something properly. It's
great, and it's been confirmed. That's fantastic. Thanks, Mandalorian.
Funny thing is, I can remember scenes. I remember what's going on. I'll get half the name right. I just can't fully say the names. It's I feel kind of like a generic ghetto version of like a zombie Hulk. It people not seeing YouTube don't see the generic Lego man I was holding up. He's so
they've seen him at the beginning of the whatever episode that will be in.
Yeah, I think that was the first one. So that will be.
Yeah, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the first one you put out.
Oh, it will be. Yep, I'm not editing them anymore. They're just going out.
Works for me.
It's this will probably have an E on it. Actually, I don't think we swore at all in this one, so this one can be clean. We
There's
only,
a couple F-bombs here and there.
I think we only dropped one F-bomb, a few S's.
A few S's, yeah.
So my question is we didn't do anything, because keep in mind we're on the third one here now. So my question would be is, according to movie standards, being that they're 3 separate episodes, so any swears that were in there are divvied out amongst them. These would not be rated R. They'd be allowed on television. So therefore, I don't think I should have to hit the what do you call it? The explicit button.
No, because I think it is if you can have 3 F words if they're not referring to the act.
Yep.
Without it being rated R.
Yeah, and you can say the S word now, I think.
Every 10 seconds? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, there's something too where if it's not referencing something, and I think it might actually be defecating. You know, the fact that I think it was Alfred Hitchcock who did a flushing toilet or something, that was considered like almost unwatchable by the ratings people. I don't know if they were really ratings people then. It might have been critics that. Was it Alfred Hitchcock who did the flushing toilet? He was someone was the first one to do it, and like it was a big deal. I thought it was Alfred Hitchcock. I feel like I need to look that up.
It could have been.
It's well, here, let's see what. Oh, this is going to trigger a lot of people's phones. I apologize to everybody. Alexa, what's the first movie to ever show a flushing toilet?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the 1960 movie Piss Joe is thought to be the first movie where a toilet is shown being flushed. Did that answer your question?
Did you hear it? I didn't.
I heard it's in 1960, a film called, and I couldn't hear the title.
All right, last one. Alexa, repeat.
I'll repeat the song.
Oh, hey, Alexa, cancel. No copyright protection here, please. Alexa, cancel. So anyone's listening to this, if they're listening on speaker, their echo devices are going crazy right now. Here, let me try it like this. Alexa, what's the first movie to ever show a flushing toilet?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the 1960 movie Piss Joe is thought to be the first movie where a toilet is shown being flushed.
Wow, that was horrible. All I heard was static and reverb.
All right. We're going to turn it up.
Or perhaps I could just click on Google here and look it up.
Oh, now you bring it up that you have a magical computer.
This is going to make great entertaining video.
Alexa,
One more
what's
time,
the first
Alexa.
movie to ever show a flushing toilet?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the 1960 movie Piss Joe is thought to be the first movie where a toilet is shown being
Cistern?
flushed.
He say Piss Joe?
Cistern.
Cistern? Damn it. I'm going to Google it.
Cistern, cistern.
Did you find it? Or are you just guessing that's what they said?
That's what I thought it sounded like.
There's 2 people listening to this right now going, "It's this, you son of a..."
2 people? Hell, our fan base just doubled.
Yes. Well, I'm probably one of them going, "Rich, how'd you not know that crap?" Okay. First movie to show a flushing toilet. Psycho. That's what I thought.
I could have heard it said cistern. But Alexa, you need a
Oh,
voice
you know
box
what?
screen.
It probably couldn't read it. Wait, Psycho's a pretty...
It's a pretty easy word to read.
Yeah, it's not like it's a odd thing. Yeah, so Psycho is the first American film to feature a toilet. Psycho is the first American film to show a toilet on screen. It's also the first American film in which we hear a toilet being flushed. That's just how repressed Americans were in 1950s.
That's crazy.
Did they have to actually put that's just how repressed Americans were in 1950s?
Of course you do. They always have to dig.
Because I didn't ask what the first American movie was. I asked what the first movie was. So wouldn't that make the world repressed? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think
no,
it's...
because, the French probably were showing toilets flushing since the 1800s because they're so refined.
Well, and the thing is, too, is the toilet that flushes in, I guess, Psycho, which I didn't think it... Maybe it was... Yeah. Did I say it was Psycho before? I don't know. Who cares? There's nothing in the toilet. It's just water. It's not like you see
Yeah.
anything. I've never seen the movie, but yet I know the whole movie because
Well, it's been referenced so many times and all this and that.
Yeah, and if I remember
How come my
correctly...
screen froze on there?
Oh, yeah.
I actually didn't pass away. I actually am moving.
Are you?
I guess. I don't know.
There we go. It's because I opened...
Maybe I did. I don't...
It's... Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
Woo!
Wow.
Look at that, getting fancy. How nice. Get on up in there. Uh-oh. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Screwing with things. Holy smokes.
It's going haywire.
You're just taking over this bad boy now.
Well, I'm giant, so I have to have a bigger screen.
You just have the cooler posters. I have a suspended ceiling tile. I am sitting in a horror movie right now.
There could be anything up there.
Watch this. Alexa, turn off the office light. There we go.
Ooh, that's cool.
Now the worst part was if you see a face just emerge right behind me.
I'll
Okay,
be
that's
sure and scream for you.
That's actually kind of creeping me out too.
I like it.
Can I actually reach the button to this thing? I feel bad making everyone's Alexa. You know, those two people. There we go. Oh, I said it again anyways.
Play those songs that we don't own the rights to.
I wish I could get it to do like Jarvis or something. Right now you can do the keyword I was saying. You can do echo and you can do computer. I'm like, those are lame. Give more choices.
It's going to cost you.
I know. I have it built into my glasses too. I think I showed you my glasses before.
Yes, I've seen all your
They
toys.
are awesome. You know how handy those were when I was trying to find Angie in Target? My hands were full of toys.
Okay, I like that answer.
See? And I'm not joking. That happened. In
Grab a
fact,
cart next time.
I almost called you because I thought I saw a ghost face and my hands were full. And then I saw that it wasn't ghost faced. It was Godzilla behind another box that just showed some white and black spot. And I'm like, oh, NECA!
Don't tease me.
Yeah. It's always... Ours is the same way. It looks like a landmine went off.
I need Ghostface, I need the Creep Show Creep, and I need...
Oh, I didn't know you needed the Creep Show Creep.
Yeah, and then the 2-pack of Loomis and Laurie, and the 3-pack of the Halloween 3 kids.
Oh, Loomis from Halloween?
Yeah, Loomis and Laurie from Halloween 2, and then the 3 trick-or-treaters from Halloween 3 with the masks.
The Night of the Witch?
Yep, Season of the Witch, yeah.
Or Season of the Witch, yeah.
Yeah, they make the pumpkin, the skeleton, and the witch. They're in the one box.
Oh, they did? You know, I actually like that movie. They just shouldn't have called it Halloween.
I like it too. In fact, it would have been interesting to see if that had been a success. Carpenter wanted to do a different standalone each year.
I would have been all right with it. I think calling it Halloween hurt it.
Halloween was the death knell because everybody's like, Michael Myers, here we go. No.
Well, they could have just called it Season of the Witch. Did you know that's the first Halloween I ever watched?
You know what's funny? It was the first one I ever watched too.
Yeah, and then when I watched the first one, I'm like, what? Like, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't know what was going on.
Oh, I love the first Halloween from the moment I saw it, but I was like... Then I had to go back and watch 3 because I thought Loomis was the character in Halloween 3, but like, no, it's just another doctor guy.
No, his in that movie, he has hair on his head and under his lip.
I was like 10 when I watched him. Jesus Christ, give me a break.
I suppose, yeah, because I was probably 16. Yeah, that'd be probably about right. I had it on Betamax. I probably still have it on Betamax. All my Betamax tapes are at my mom's house.
The first 4 Halloweens I like. Then Halloween 5 goes into the toilet.
Which one's 5?
Ugh. 5 is the one with Tina.
Tina?
And Jamie can't say a word. She's a mute. And it's awful.
I gotta rewatch them. The problem is I can't... It's not like... So, like, those are the movies, like, I'd watch... I've already seen them all. I just need to see them again. So those are the type of movies, like, I'd like to go have a fire in the backyard, get a case of beer, some booze, and some soda, and just have a marathon in the backyard. Unfortunately, I can't watch those outside. I have kids that live behind me and stuff. Like, I would have the cops at my house.
They're
It's
not. So they see some titty. What's the big deal?
well, to me, there's none. I actually fully fledged on approve of all of it, but
Why are you looking into my yard?
yeah,
Don't look in this yard.
that's true. I don't care. Come on over. Just don't complain.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, if you come over here, you waive your rights to calling the police.
Yeah, help yourself to beer. Just don't touch any of my pineapple beer, or my spotted cow.
I'm sorry, something dumb got crawled in my ear. Pineapple beer? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. Yes, you did. Not the hemp shit. That stuff is awful. But so there's Mackenzie's Black Cherry, which is fantastic, which they sell at Champs. And then there's Mackenzie's Pineapple Hemp, which I'm like, oh, I like pineapple beer. I've had it before at the Up Down bar in Milwaukee. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll get that. Oh. I think I crapped out a hemp sweatshirt when I was done drinking that. It was awful. So then I tried this other one, and then for the life of me, I cannot... If you said the name of it, I'd be like, yeah, that's it, but I can't remember what it was. I have to see it again, but I got it in Door County. And I always buy 6 weird beers when I'm up there. So I got like 2 different pineapple ones. The hemp one sucked. The other one was awesome. I got a pumpkin one, which, no surprise, it wasn't good as a beer. I don't remember what the other ones were. I probably didn't drink them. Angie likes cider beers, so I think they were cider beers. But yeah, pineapple is fantastic. It's not the only place pineapple's fantastic either. I stopped in a country kitchen that was not a country kitchen anymore. My shoes, I had to tie them tight because every time I stepped on the floor, they stuck so bad I thought my foot was going to pop out of them. And I ordered the Hula Burger, which was a burger with a slice of pineapple on it with teriyaki sauce on it.
Yeah, Red Robin has that.
Oh, I got to go to Red Robin. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, yeah.
My God, that was good.
I like pineapple, just not on pizza and don't need it in beer. You see, it's that flavored beer. It's this flavored beer crap now that is making the whiskeys do that, and that sickens me.
Just don't buy the whiskey that's flavored.
I'm not doing that, but it's still there, and it makes me sad.
Oh, don't mind me when they make it. You know, when I bartended, it was so much easier. I mean, now if someone wants a doctor, you got to list off, well, which one of the 52 flavors would you like?
Yeah, just whiskey, please. Because you can't even say Jack. Would you like Jack Apple, Jack Honey? No, Jack.
Jack Apple. I'm not a Jack fan, but Jack Apple's actually not too bad.
It's fine. Jack never needed to be flavored. I don't understand.
See, when I used to bartend, you asked for it that
Single barrel,
way.
double barrel. That's what you need to ask. Not peanut butter beer. No, I don't want peanut butter in my whiskey. Get lost.
Yeah, I used to do Apple Jacks all the time at the bar, but we poured it that way. It wasn't in a bottle.
Yeah.
Throw it in a shaker and half apple pucker, half Jack, and...
I guess, what do I care if somebody's drinking it? I'm not drinking it, so what do I care?
Actually, if it's an alcohol you like, you just don't like the flavors, be happy the flavors are doing well, because as long as that company does well, it ain't going nowhere. Now, Jack's not going anywhere, but...
I was going to say, I'm not too worried about any of the liquor companies right now, because you go to Discount Liquor, there's a line 15 deep every time you go in there.
Yeah,
that's all we can do now is sit and drink.
They've said that garbage cans are just filled with booze bottles. Like they said, it's crazy.
Oh, alcoholism is skyrocketed. Mental health is skyrocketed, but who cares? It's not contagious, right?
No, yeah, I mean, you can't catch that. I mean, unless you go to a riot, you can't catch anything. I'm sorry, a protest. My mistake. But
how dare you?
Yeah, I know. It was mostly peaceful.
They wonder, why was everybody drinking? Gee, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, most people aren't millionaires, so, it kind of sucks being trapped at home. That's one of the things that pisses me off about stuff like, Ruffalo and Evans and stuff like that. I love their movies. They're great actors. And as a straight guy, I can say Evans ain't that bad to look at. But
stop telling us how to feel.
What's that?
Stop telling us how to live and feel.
Yeah. It's I mean, you guys have no clue. You're so loaded. You have no idea what real life is. No idea.
None. And even if you did at one point, you don't anymore.
You know what? And I'd be surprised if either one of them ever did. I mean, Evans has been acting since he was young.
It's true. Yeah.
It's and I get it. Like LeBron James, great example. He grew up poor. He knew what suffrage was. That guy's had so much money from still a young age, to now that maybe he remembers what it was like, but he doesn't remember what it felt like. He thinks he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And that might be a little dickish of me to say, because he did grow up poor. I mean, that was a crappy way to grow up. But
Yeah, but he's so far beyond that now.
yeah, it's and you know what? He has so much money. Stop spouting. Start ponying up some money. Help the way you can with your wallet.
Yeah.
Is it your job?
Because you have more money than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, is it your job to pay for other people's problems? Absolutely not. But if you're not going to shut your hole, then do something. Yeah, your opinion means nothing.
Well, it's all this. We're in this together. No, we're not. You're way up there.
Yeah.
And we're down here. Stop trying to relate to us.
Yeah, they have no idea. I mean, I'm not. Myself, personally, I'm not bad off. I'm not. But I was. And I remember what it was like. But do I really remember what it was fully like? No, even at I mean, I'm not rich by any means. But, I mean, other than my name. But I hate having to always say that. But I mean, I'm sure there's a level of, every once in a while I think about stuff like when we used to play SOCOM and I'd get Pizza Hut. And we'd all chip in and get Pizza Hut and stuff. I remember thinking to myself, well, we're splitting it 3 ways. I can afford to do this. Otherwise, something like that would have never happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have little glimpses here and there of it. But, I mean, like, there's no way LeBron James probably remembers something like that. But he doesn't really know what it felt like.
Well, yeah. Oh, because of the lockdown, I had to sell 2 of my Bentleys. Oh my God, you're so suffering. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. How about the boxer who has what does he have, 15 sports cars, if not more, but doesn't even know how to drive?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Really hard to feel sorry for people like that.
You want to know privilege? No privilege tops millionaire privilege.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and there's always the argument too from the left side, and I understand this argument back. They're like, well, you could say the same thing about someone who would support Trump or support conservative, but my argument back for that is, well, one, they're right. You shouldn't listen to that person either. You should go out, research, and do what benefits you. Because when you have enough people doing what benefits them, you're gonna find a common ground, and the common ground will win, which would then be what you want. But but at the end of the day, I want less laws governing my life. I want less money taken away from me. And that does fall on the conservative side. And a lot of people are like, well, if you're in a better situation, you should help. I'm not against helping people, and I will help people by choice. I don't want to be forced to do it. And if you are going to force me to do it, don't do it by raising my taxes, because you guys can't spend the money properly now. Me giving you more money doesn't mean it's going to where you think it's going. It's just getting pissed away.
They tell you who to vote for, and you're like, oh, if I vote for them, maybe Selena Gomez will like me. No, they don't care about you.
Yeah. Wait, I thought she did like me.
Only if you voted her way.
Ah, crap. Actually, has she spoken out?
That was just a name that popped into my head. I don't know.
No, I know it's, it felt perfectly normal, but then after you said it, I'm like, you know what? I actually don't know if she's spoken out. How has she not been canceled yet? Unless you've given your undying love to Biden, I thought they were trying to cancel you.
Oh, they don't try. They do.
It's funny seeing, Kevin Sorbo. I never knew how conservative he was.
Yeah, he's out there.
He is. Holy crap. It's amazing what looking into some of this stuff has opened up for me to see.
But you know, those guys, they say there's a lot of conservatives in Hollywood. They just can't speak up.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It sucks. I wish they could. But I kind of get why they don't.
I get why they don't.
I mean, I probably wouldn't either. Actually, this is the most I've talked about it. I mean, well, we've talked about stuff off of a recording, but considering we're on a recording, this is the most we've talked about it. I mean, I don't talk about it either. It's, but at the same time, I don't feel like we've said anything horribly offensive. I mean, my beliefs go both ways for both sides. It's just I happen to have beliefs that are on one side more than the other. I'm not right. I'm just right of center. every day I kind of lean more towards right, floating away from that center.
I don't know if you're leaning as much as they're just shoving you violently.
Well, that's the thing is, yeah, am I moving or are they dragging the line away from me? And I think it might be more of the latter.
It's such lunacy. You can't. How can you align yourself with it?
It's well, and we're gonna see whether. So if Trump wins, and
He never will. Whatever happens, they'll find something somewhere. Oh, we gotta count this basket now.
well, that's true. We missed this igloo one. It was buried under the other one out in the field when we were dumping those Trump ones.
The guy forgot there was 2 baskets out there.
Yeah.
He only brought back 1, so we had to go back and get the other basket.
Yeah, we shouldn't have buried them on top of each other. We should have put them next to each other. That was our bad.
Sorry, that was our bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it. We ran out of ink on our stamper, stamping it back a few days, but we had to bury them until we found a new one. But it, coincidentally buried in the same graveyard where my great grandfather voted yesterday. So
Yeah, he voted twice.
yeah, it. But he. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Kind of went on a rant there. Sadly, this might be the most awake I've been in a week, too, as of about the yawn. Holy crap. Yeah, it's, I'd be interested in seeing what a movie would look like that, like right now, because theaters are having a hard time getting movies in. I'd be curious to, see what a movie would be like with like someone like Sorbo Woods. Like there was, I personally don't actually care what someone's opinion is on pro-choice or pro-life. I'm personally pro-life. If someone's pro-choice, I really don't want to have that conversation with them. It doesn't mean I can't have any conversation with them. I just don't agree with them, and I'm not going to agree with them. But that's their opinion, and God willing, even though I'm not a very religious person, I hope it never comes to a time where they have to make that decision. But there was a movie about that subject. I think it was like last year or something. It was coming out, and it did not hit very many theaters because it got slammed so hard on its opinions for being pro-choice. And I'd be curious what would happen if that came out now. Because even though the voices are getting louder and louder all the time, I bet you theaters will put in whatever someone's willing to shove into them right now.
You get the same reaction from the critics, but you might get a more of an audience reaction because they'd be able to see it because theaters would be like, we need something here.
Yeah, which is funny because there was a movie not too long ago that came out about actually having an abortion. Like the movie was about that. Like that was its, like it was a good thing for the movie. The whole premise seemed ridiculous to me. And of course, conservative side didn't like it, but they weren't that loud about it. And then the other side that chewed out the other movie left and right was just like, oh, well, you're such a hypocrite. You're a racist, because racist is always a word for something they can't defend. That's their answer back. Yep. And they just went off, and I'm like, wait a second, this is... Oh, I realize I'm just saying the same shit about the election, too. They do it, but it's bad if you do it. It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's the Democratic motto, do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah. I can't believe I ever was a Democrat. Well, you know, the funny thing is, I probably never was a Democrat. I just didn't understand what a Democrat was. And
I really don't think they understand it anymore either.
Well, they don't. We're going to see. That's what I was getting at. So if Trump wins, COVID's around for a while. Well, COVID's around forever. We're not getting rid of it. It's just, it'll still remain bad. It'll be a pandemic. And everything will be Trump's fault. Orange man bad. Cheeto bad. First of all, Cheetos aren't bad. Anyone who thinks Cheetos bad has got a problem. Especially considering I can't eat those things on my diet. I love Cheetos more now than ever. I even like the big puff balls that come in that generic-ass tub. But that's a different soapbox.
The Yutzes, those are gross.
I like
those are too salty.
They're like, no, like the donut hulls. But they're Cheetos. The round balls.
Yeah, in the big tub.
Yeah, the big animal cracker see-through tub.
Yeah, those are too salty.
Is there salt on them?
I don't know, but they taste it.
Oh, I just put one in my mouth and just let it dissolve like cotton candy. But different subject. So if Cheeto Man wins, then we're going to hear a lot of bitching. Well, basically, I don't watch TV anymore, so I'm okay, actually. If he loses, then Biden's the president, at least for a little while. Probably 2.5 years. Then they'll get rid of him that way.
There's no way in hell he lasts 2.5 years.
I think if he lasts 2.5 years, Kamala doesn't have to treat it as a term, which means she can actually run 2 more times.
They're not going to let that doddering old man be president for 2.5 years.
I tend to agree with you. But
Nancy is not going to sit there for 2.5 years and not be vice president. She was promised that by the party. She's not going to sit there and allow that to happen for 2.5 years.
That is one of the big reasons why I think he'll be gone right away. The only reason I think it could go 2.5 years is because she wants to be it for 2.5 terms. But that would be interesting to see how it goes. But my question is so with the left turning in on itself, because it's already happening, you're already seeing stuff. The squad, AOC, Libtard, and Brotherfucker, I don't know all their names, but 2 of them are already going at it on media because they have different beliefs and stuff, even though they were best cronies, a couple weeks ago. So I'm curious if Trump wins, it gives them all a focus point. But if Biden, so it'll still be a miserable listening to them. But if this one's definitely explicit because I said the brother thing, that's all right. We can have 1 or 2. But if Biden wins, so I don't want him to win. I openly admit it. I don't want him to win. But goddamn, I do like watching a train wreck. I am really curious to see what would happen with the Democratic Party. I mean, they're going to eat themselves. They're like rats. You trap rats without food, they start eating themselves.
This is exactly what should happen. The Republicans should shut up and do their work and not say a word. That shit will solve itself.
Yeah.
Don't enter the fray. Don't buy any of the taunts they give you. Do your work for your constituents, whatever. Don't say a word. Say, hey, thanks for everybody for coming, and that's all you say, because they will destroy each other.
They will. The only problem I have is I feel like they've been too silent. Like some have abandoned ship already, which pisses me off.
No, they're too silent, but there's a difference between being silent and being patient.
Well, you're saying after the fact, if Biden wins, let it roll its course. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, because they will. They'll swallow their own souls. They'll go all Evil Dead on themselves.
Yep, and it'll be quick, and it'll be fun to watch. It'll be whew.
My question is the media. I mean, the media. There's no doubt that the media is. When I say the media, I'm talking television. Talk radio is primarily conservative. I get that. Fox News is conservative, but they're a bunch of loons even. But I like Tucker, but it because he actually uses facts, and he'll actually even call out Fox News. He's doing it right now, actually. Yeah. But for the most part, it's all left. Like ABC, George Stephanopoulos, how that guy doesn't frickin' choke on his own balls as he's trying to give himself head beyond me. But it's I'm already marking this one E anyway, so
that's fine.
I'm curious of what's going to happen to that. What are they going to report on? I mean, I get it. Late night shows, they're comedians. Haha, we're not going to be able to laugh at Trump. They'll still laugh at him for the first 4 years he's gone. That's just what they do. They'll recycle jokes, and then they'll have to move on. Well, they can probably do Biden because he'll be kicked out by then. They're like, oh, did you see the old man yesterday? So they'll have jokes. They're not going to be good jokes, but they'll have jokes. But what's the real...
good jokes now.
Yeah, that's true. But what's the real news going to do? Now, when I say real news, I am saying that very loosely. But yes. what are they going to do? It's, I mean...
well, what did they do for 8 years with Obama? It'll just be sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Because you knew there was police shootings under Obama, correct? You just didn't hear about them.
Oh, my God, it was horrible. Actually, he had horrible crime under him.
You didn't hear about it because the media covered, so that's what they'll do for Harris and Pelosi. And then when the election cycle starts again, they'll just tear out whatever Republican comes out of there.
See, I think Obama had something that that no one will ever have again, though. Kamala will try to use it when it comes for her time, but Obama had the race card. It was wrongly used, don't get me wrong. Anyone who didn't vote for him was considered racist, or if you didn't agree, that's where this whole racist crap started from.
He's still using it.
Yeah. It's just, it doesn't, but I don't think it pulls the weight it used to. I think people were a little scared to say stuff against Obama. Funny thing is,
First term.
I didn't think he was the worst. That's true. I was actually surprised he got reelected. I didn't think he was the worst president. I just didn't think he was a good president. He didn't
What
do
did he
anything
do?
that benefited me.
He didn't do anything at all. 8 years.
Yeah, and Trump was able to disassemble enough of his stupid healthcare plan. Don't get me wrong. There were some good things in the healthcare plan. There was just a lot of bloat and crap that made the good things not so good.
Well, of course.
My favorite's all the commercials where you're like, oh, well, I'm going to vote for the person who's not going to take away my health insurance and get rid of pre-existing condition coverage. He never said he was getting rid of that wasn't part of his plan. It's that I think it would be a lot better if you could not lie. Like, they flat out lie during it. You should be fined. You should literally be fined for lying.
Who's going to find him? The watchdog group is on their side. Who's going to find
Well,
him?
that's true. Yeah.
Here's the thing about the left. They need somebody to galvanize them. They need to be against someone. When they're in power, they lose control. They have no idea what to do.
I'm curious to see how it goes, because you know who it'll be. They're going to turn on Biden.
Well, he won't be there long enough for that.
Well, no, that's when they'll do it. They're going to turn on him to get rid of him. Say, oh, well, they won't say, oh, he was a mistake. They're going to say, oh, his dementia he just got yesterday is getting worse.
Everybody is on board with this. This is like the least kept secret in the world right now of what's going to happen with him.
Do you think he even knows?
He may have known at one time, but I think he's so far mentally disabled that he can't remember. I do seriously feel bad for the guy because he's just been trotted out there and he's not healthy.
That's how I feel sometimes about him. I'm like, I don't think he knows. I think he thinks this is all going just fantastic. And like, if he took a polygraph to whether to know if there was any fraudulent stuff going on, I think he would pass, because sometimes I actually wonder if he even knows that. Like, he's just in the dark. They just want him to run. They're going to get him in. They're going to 25th Amendment his ass out. And then that's it. He'll be just standing on the street corner going, oh, I'm still the president, right?
I mean, he's a doddering old lunatic under Obama.
He
found him wandering in a store looking for pie one night. He's like, Joe?
He had a couple things happen. They actually, now you bring that up, I remember them talking about him kind of being out of it, even as vice president.
And now it's 5 years later, whatever, and he's even worse. But again, he's the Trojan horse.
Once again, you're awesome for making it this far. If you're wondering why we did let this episode go through with all the vulgarness, and we don't normally talk that much about politics and stuff like that, it's just because, you know what, editing is kind of a pain, and you know what, sometimes it just flows better when we're just letting it go. So other than that, thanks for listening.